cool. Hello, welcome. My name is Philip, and today I'm gonna show you how I create music in a way. I generate or randomize MIDI loops and let the randomization be a part of it. That's the randomization is the thing that gets me into the flow, of just drifting away and just not caring, really. Just playing, just listening to what I have. Um, and that's something that I have found being particularly useful when you're stuck, to just have something nearby that you can just use to get instant inspiration or something like that. That's my goal, at least. That was the thing I wanted to do with it. But also to be able to play live and to have, you know, chord progression, melodies, and bass lines generated live, that are useful, that you can use, but that no one has ever heard before, included you. So you don't have to preparation of a lot of stuff, or maybe you cannot play the keyboard as I can't as well as I would want to, so I can't really express myself in a live environment with it unless I prepare myself. So here's like that a workflow dedicated to that. And it's also important to note that this is by no means like something you just press a button and it works. It's now you have a song, it's randomized and everything good. We don't need any producers anymore. No. See this as another tool in your toolbox to make music with. And it's fairly simple actually. It's a MIDI controller, and you can buy some really cheap MIDI controllers and some a lot more expensive MIDI controllers. But what a MIDI controller is that it can control anything inside your computer uh, with these buttons. I can assign them to anything that I can imagine. So you got total freedom of doing whatever you want. Um, So I also probably have to say that I'm no expert at this. So I, I'm doing this because I want to teach you, of course, but also myself. I think that by teaching other or teaching, just talking about the stuff you do and the stuff you learn makes you even better at those things. So yeah, it's just cool if you're here and grab something that you enjoyed or learned or didn't enjoy. Hopefully I taught you something. I guess that's all. Oh, one thing. I if you have heard about Cuckoo, he's a musician and he's making a lot of YouTube videos. You should definitely check him out. I will leave a link to his channel in the description. He's one of my biggest inspirations and his music is just amazing. And Cuckoo, if you're watching this, I love you. I do. Now I think I can start with this stuff. And yeah, let's jump straight to it. So I got 8 different tracks. And those 8 different tracks has VST loaded on them. And I'm using Omnisphere for every track. You can use whatever you want. You can use hardware synthesizers. You can use other VSTs. You can use anything that can receive MIDI. Because the god of this workflow is a plugin called MIDI Madness. And MIDI Madness is a MIDI plugin that generates MIDI, but with certain rules that you can decide. So each track is, or these 8 tracks are divided into 4 groups, and these groups or let me explain this so I can understand it myself also. First group is track 1 and 2. Second group is track 3 and 4. Third group is track 5 and 6. And fourth group is track 7 and 8. And why are they grouped? Well, I thought it would be really nice to have 2 different sounds playing the same MIDI notes from MIDI Madness. But so you can layer them. That layer is really nice. It gives it some more depth to it. And it's easier to have 4 different MIDI clips playing together than having 8 different MIDI clips playing together, especially when it randomizes. So that's the thought about that. So here on the side I got 4 different buttons. This is group 1, this is group 2, group 3, group 4. And when I press one of this button, it generates a new MIDI clip. So let's hear it. So this is track 1, playing a MIDI loop over and over again. And to check and see if track 2 also is in the same group, we can listen. Does it sound? So yeah, it's playing the same MIDI clip. But when you have different sounds that behave differently, you also get they merge very well together, so to say. And yeah, if we just want to change the playing, we press group number 1 up here. Boom! And we're inside a new mode. So that's the thought of this thing, to just press a button and get into a new mode. Let me just keep going through all of them so you can hear what it is, and let me change the MIDI of it. So we heard group 1, let's move on to group 2. So let's say I want to change a preset, a sound. I have this row of buttons under each track that does that. Whoa, man, this was crazy, right? And that's the cool part about it. It's it's the same stuff. It's actually generating the MIDI files exactly with the same rules now, but just different sounds makes it sound completely different. And that's the discovery part of it, that you're so into it. It's so easy to load up new sounds and new MIDI clips. Last group then. Really cool, really cool. So now we have played each group together with each other, and they merge very well, often. If you found sounds that sounds good together. So what happens if we play groups together? Way! Let's do that. So you see, there was matching some sounds, but you can layer those groups together as well, and I'm going to show you later even more about that. But that's how I'm thinking about it. I layer sounds, then I layer groups. Yeah, let's move on. We have a lot to discover here. I guess you want to know by now, what does all these knobs do? And yeah, we haven't even started, right? And I have been rambling on for so long. Let's see what happens if we can speed this up a little. So, the first row here, we control the rules of the MIDI clip. So, I have my keyboard down here. And it doesn't look like a regular keyboard because it's not. I have assigned specific notes to these knobs. I know this is the E note. I think this is F sharp, G, B. Anyway, I have assigned notes in E minor because I'm working a lot in E minor with this setup. So that's what I'm using. So I can now decide a note that the loop should generate. So let's say I want the loop to just play the note E. I turn off every note except E, and I generate a new loop, and I listen to it. If I want to climb the scale, as a piano, just play the note higher, or so, as you can see, you have got full control over the notes that are playing. So you can easily set up chords and arpeggios and take out of a note and slightly take in a note and just keep on generating new stuff to make the journey evolve, so to say, I guess. So that's really nice to have control over. I think that's necessary. You need that to be able to go through different places and new chords and new stuff. So what's up next? Row 2. This is the red buttons here that I'm gonna talk about, and they are the note position, I guess you could say. So we have 16ths, 8, quarter, half note, and whole note. And we got one with no light here, and this one is actually silence, or you can assign how much silence you want in your loop. So for example here, if I want to make something play rapidly, like the first track is doing now, but what I would do to make that happen, I would turn down everything except the 16th. Now it will play very rapidly, it will play 16th notes. And the silence, I will put that up also, because I don't want it to play all the time. I want it to have some like melodic stuff that is like fluttering, you know, something like that. So that's what I'm trying to do. So I generate new stuff with these rules. I will put in some notes that I enjoy listening to, and we'll see. So, a thing I know now is that the sound from Omnisphere probably has an arpeggio or something on it. So I'm gonna do the same, but for the group 2, and see if we get a better sound here. Yeah. Give it even more silence. And if I wanted to start playing much faster with not so much silence, pull it down, generate a new loop. And you're in the vibe again. Take it up. Like now we don't hear anything, so now it made the whole loop silent, so I maybe took a little too much silence. Cool. So that's that row, and well, I maybe should show you also the other options. So if I put down 16th and let's say half notes, and I generate something. But with some breath in it, or air, or nothing. Yeah. You got these nice parts that you really can control if you just, you know, use it a lot. You start to get hang of it. Okay, but I want something slower now and a little darker. Well, then you just put in the probability of that happening, and usually it happens. So let's move on to the octaves, and these are these 4-1, so I can decide which octave is playing. This is the second octave. I can go to the first octave, turn everything else down except the first octave, generate a new loop. It's dark. And now let's say I want to just bring in some light to this, some brightness, some stars. I just put in a little of the fourth octave and I generate a new loop. Now I want to take it down a little. So as you can see, you got control over the octaves also. And to the right of the octaves, you have these 3 knobs, and these are the polyphonic part, or how many notes are playing at the same time. And I got 1 note here, 2 notes here, and 3 notes here. But the VST allows you to play 16 notes at the same time. So I guess you could, but I don't find that useful, so I have just used these 3. But that's so cool about it. It's so personal. It really is what you make it to be. And yeah, let's try it. Let's see how if we can hear these notes adding and stacking on top of each other. So now I put in 2 notes. Three notes. A little hard to hear on that sound, so I'm gonna... Oh! I did a mistake. Did you see what? I pressed this button, and this is group 1. Generate a new MIDI pattern for group 1, but should I press this one for group 2? So let's try again. 2 notes. Three notes. Guess I don't. Oh. Crazy shit is going on, but that's the point of it. So you got your polyphonic stuff, so you can play chords on the pads, you can play some nice melodies with some 2 notes added, and you can play just arpeggios with 1 note. That's pretty much it. I got some more knobs to the right here. Here we got swing. Swing is really nice to play and have fun with when you're generating fast arpeggios and stuff. We could try. Put up the swing. Make it 16s and 8s. Now we took in some swing to it. Take out some swing. Put in some swing. Take it out. So that swing knob has some really nice grooving stuff going on with it. So that's something I like to use on arpeggios and stuff like that. It just gives it that groove. And then we have 2 more buttons under that, and these are the length, how long the note should be. And to be fair, I haven't really found them very useful. I just put them like, oh shit, I spit myself. I just put them like this mostly all the time. But I think I hope I can demonstrate this to you. Let's see. So now we use track 5. So this is group 3. Remember that now? Remember that? Cool. Let's make it play the notes for 1 bar or maybe a half bar, whole note and half note. And let's generate it again. Okay. This I do like, this sound. Let's see what happens if I turn this down. Yeah. Okay. Some things even I can't know. So these they're dead buttons for me right now. And I would probably assign something else to it that I find more useful. So let's move on. Below that we have this button, and this one is a little special one. This is an extra randomization. Excuse me. This one actually only works on track. First, let me turn them off. If I didn't tell you, the bottom one here is to turn the plugins off. It's for workload when I'm working on a smaller computer, or it's nice to just have the things that are you listening to be on. The rest can be off, I think. So, yeah, this button here, sorry. This button only works on track 1, 3, 5, and 7. And as you can see, these are the tracks, the first track in each group. So you can say that the first layer gets controlled by this one. The second layer doesn't get controlled, it passes by. Why, you might ask? Why would I do something like that? It's easy. Look at this. Let me play this one. Let's say I have found a loop that I like. Here's the loop. It's very repetitive, which I like, which is very nice to dance to. But it's sometimes nice to be able to, let's say, just switch out 1, 2, or 3 notes in that loop, just like sometimes of it playing, you know, not too often, but just give it a little variation. And if I generate a new loop, it might destroy it, so that's not a good idea. So that's why I have this one, and I can just put it up a little. There, you heard it. There too. If I put it all the way up, all the notes 100% of the time will be switched out. So, why did I talk about, oh, this is just affecting group layer number 1? Because if I got 2 layers of the same stuff playing over and over again, it's really nice to just have one of them floating away. So let me float away number 1 now. So yeah, you can get some nice variation to it with randomization, but not so much that it completely changes the loop that you finally found and that you enjoyed. But after a minute or so or longer, you need to do something with it to play it a little differently, and that's why we have this knob here. So I'm almost done with the walkthrough of this randomization page. As you have seen, I have jumped a little between different pages, and all the other pages, I will show you what I got there later. But before we finish, and before I show you a little stuff that it can do, I'm gonna tell you what these 4 buttons are. Believe me, I saved the best for the last. Boom, I'm back. My camera shut down, but now I'm back. And I was about to tell you about these 4 buttons here. They are incredibly cool because they also generate MIDI, but they do that in another way than these does. They are actually generating MIDI in a freestyle way. And a freestyle way, it's like generating 1 bar of MIDI, and when that bar is ended, it generates a new bar of MIDI, and when that have ended, it generates a new bar of MIDI. So it's an endless flow of new generated MIDI clips. And you can use that in a lot of ways with this setup, but let me show you just what it does. got this repetitive loop. Group 1. Wow. So what it does, it doesn't remove the last loop we have. The loop we have here, down here on these 4 buttons. That loop is always saved, unless I generate a new loop over it. This freestyle mode is just a mode that it flips to. And when I press, and when I snap out of it, I just go straight back to the loop that we were. So it's a very nice button for flavors. And you're back. And what is going on when I'm pressing that? Can I control it? Maybe not. We'll see. What you can do, and what's so cool about it, is that when it's in freestyle mode, it actually is real-time generating from the rules that you set up in real time. So now we know the group 1 is in freestyle mode. It's playing whatever it wants. But when I turn this button now, it will change in real time. So listen at this. I don't have to generate. I don't have to. If I don't want to do that, I can just freestyle, endless flow. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I don't know what to say. That's just an endless, stream of flow going through me. But now we know what every button does. It starts. We can start to play with it, right? So, how do you play with this? How do you hopefully have got some ideas by now? But let's say you're still like, but how can I make cool stuff out of it? I'm probably not the right person to show you cool stuff, but I guess there are some people out there that probably have a lot of can use this as and make some cool stuff out of it. But I'm gonna show you how easily it is to go from one inspiration to a new inspiration, and especially if you're not going to use it live and you're going to use it in the studio, is a very nice tool to find different vibes and modes and compare it to each other, and then decide, okay, but I like this more and this a little less. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to set up it, and then I'm just going to scramble the MIDI, and I will scramble the sound, and we'll see how different it can sound, so to say, if you get me there. I'm just gonna go do some pre-stuff that I know will work, so it sounds not because I was doing crazy stuff in the end. Yeah. Let's put all of them on. Let's generate new stuff on each of them, and for some of them I will change something like this. So what I'm doing now, since I know what all the buttons do, I kind of having a hum of what I want. So I want some faster stuff here and some slower stuff here. I don't know if I'm actually that, it will work, but still it's cool that you you can kind of know what it's gonna sound, even though it's randomized. Yeah, let's go. Let's see what we have. Oh, all the sounds also. Randomize that. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, let's go. Yeah, wow. Some parts there sucked. Some part were better. I had no idea what it was about to sound. So let's do it one more time. Let's change the sounds. And you know, I'm using like almost sounds that sound similar. But you can use, if you use, let's say, 8 different VSTs with 8 completely different sounds, you know, you can really customize it to your liking, to your sounds. And this is my type of sounds. This is my type of stuff. But you can only imagine what you could do it if you do it, like, and you can do it. It's yeah, it's cool. Oh, that was something else. That was, you know, I started feeling it. You just, it's so randomized, but it's so beautiful at the same time. Like half the time you're like, oh, what just happened? And when you just let it be, when it's just like, well, I can't even control it. You know, I couldn't press that chord better. I couldn't. No, I don't have control over that. I just to make sure the whole stuff sounds well, so to say. Let's do one more, just one more, so you can see what it can do. Let me bring some of that into that. Oh, so now I'm actually on the wrong page. I got a lot of different pages, and that's a bummer, because when you turn stuff on a different page and then you jump to that page, then that do you follow? Well, it's problematic. I probably have to do something about that, but not now. Like, this is so good. Sorry. Let's change out all the sounds. Let's change out some of the MIDI. Like here, I'm actually not thinking so much. It's more that I'm turning. Did I feel good when I turned that? No. Okay, don't turn that. So it's so much more of just try, you know. And that's something I really want to say now, is that this is much more instrument that you can add to top of all the other stuff. Let's see what we got first here, and then maybe I can show you that. I'm sorry. There you go. Do you have another vibe that you get into, and it just keeps on going. That's cool. But yeah, let me quick show you also, before we end this tutorial, what I'm using this. I have talked the whole video. Well, you should think about this as an instrument that you have add to your toolbox. What does that even mean? Wow, I don't understand. This can make music. Yeah. So let's say I got some preparation, and I have something that I've done in front of my computer for a while. Stuff that I think sound good, and I already know what it is. That's stuff I like to randomize stuff over. So these waves. So that part now is randomized. That I can live with. So suddenly I just got an extra instrument that I can bury in the mix. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. That you know, you blend it with the stuff you already know that you like and that you have and stuff like that. Man, I have been rambling on for too long. I think I'm gonna say goodbye now. And next part, you will see how to set up all this. You know, it's a lot of routing, of course, MIDI mapping, or that's the only thing. You just have to MIDI map like a beast, but that's what you got to do, and it's not so it's pretty quickly, you know. And hopefully you got some old MIDI controller, or you can buy one cheap. And yeah, you don't have to need to have this MIDI controller. You can assign this to other MIDI controllers and other stuff. You can assign stuff to a keyboard also. But yeah, a MIDI controller with faders and knobs, it helps you a lot of, you know, get away from arranging, or no, it exactly that. It makes you arrange stuff instead and think about where would I want to go now and how can I go there, rather than how do I play that and how do I play that melody, or I want to get that feeling out of these chords. So it's a really fun thing to have in your toolbox for sure. And it's peace out, bruh.